Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari. Jasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana. Jasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana. Chamunitira Bhunatari. Chamunitira Bhunatari. Jararu Madhava Kunda Bihari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari. Jasodanandana Bhajana Ranjana. Chamunitira Bhunatari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajagacharya Siddhishisham His Divine Grace, Divine Bhakti Vedanta Sai Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananda Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Nam Chai Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Shikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Mathura Dham Ki. Dwarka Dham Ki. Navadip Dham Ki. Jagannathpuri Dham Ki. Jamuna Mai Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Tulsi Maharani Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Sambheda Bhakti Vrinda Ki. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Siddhara Giridhara Ki. Shri Krishna Sankirtana Jaga Ki. Gopremanande. All glories to the Sama devotees. All glories to the Sama devotees. All glories to the Sama devotees. All glories to Divine Lidasita Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna Sadamo Bhagate Dhamraganadi Bisaha Kalanda Sadashomesha Parano Konudotita Narayana Namaskritcha Naram Chaivam Narotama Devim Sadasatim Vyasam Tatojayam Udirayat. The Bhagavatam is his Brinda's son. It is arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his abode, accompanied with knowledge, religion, etc. Person who lost their vision to the dense darkness of the age of Kali should get light out of this Purana. Before beginning our study of the srimadbhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, we should first offer our respects to the personality of God in Narayan, to the Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, the goddess of learning Mother Saraswati, the author Srila Vyasadeva, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada. Can you all hear? Huh? She wants. I think we need a little more volume myself. And as I say, I don't think we pay by the notch, or by the rate of level of decibel. That decibel is the word I was looking for. Do we pay by the decibel? Then why be miserly about volume? Okay. So we are on the 4th canto, chapter 6. Text 34, Brahma satisfies Lord Shiva. Yeah, told me 34. Why, is it not 34? Because you read, I thought you read up to 33. Hey, stop clock's right twice, I did. It could happen. Sanandana Adhyay Maha Siddhai Shantai Samshanta Vigraham Upashamanam Sakya Cha Bhartra Guyaka Rakshasham Sanandanadya Mahasiddhai Shantai Samshantai Vigraham Upasyamanam Sakyacha Bhatra Guyaka Rakshasham Sanandanadya Mahasiddhai Shantai Samshanta Vigraham Upasyamanam Sakyacha Bhatra Guyaka Rakshasham Sanandana excuse me, Sanandanadya Mahasiddhai Shantai Samshanta Vigraham Upasyamanam Sakyacha Bhatra Guyaka Rakshasham Shantai Samshanta Vigrayam. The four Kumaras, headed by Sanandana, Mahasiddhai, liberated souls, Shantai, saintly, Samshanta Vigraham, the grave and saintly Lord Shiva, Apasyamanam, was being praised, Sakya, by Kuvera, Cha, and Bhartra, the master, Guyaka, Rakshasham, of the Guyakas and the Rakshashas. Translation. Lord Shiva sat there. We've already had this celestial, beyond celestial scene described by Dravida Prabhu. He was reading it in the Bhagavatam. The birds chirping and the animals and fragrant flowers, and the banyan tree was how many miles high? 80 miles high? 80 miles wide? Something like that. And Lord Shiva sitting is surrounded by saintly persons. Just imagine this scene. Lord Shiva sat there surrounded by saintly persons like Kuvera, the master of the Guyakas. The Guyakas are his assistants. They help him guard the treasury of the Devas. And the four Kumaras, who were already liberated souls. Lord Shiva was grave and saintly. Purport. Oh, also you say, Lord Shiva sat there, surrounded by saintly persons, like Kuvera, the master of the Guyakas, and the four Kumaras, who were already liberated souls. Lord Shiva was grave and saintly. Purport. The personalities sitting with Lord Shiva are significant because the four Kumaras were liberated from birth. It may be remembered they were liberated from the time of their birth, and they were liberated from birth after birth after birth. So, it may be remembered that after their birth, these Kumaras were requested by their father to get married and beget children in order to increase the population of the newly created universe. But they refused, and at that time Lord Brahma was angry. In that angry mood, Rudra, or Lord Shiva, was born. He was born from between the eyebrows of Brahma, because Brahma was suppressing, holding within his anger. But, you know, you can imagine his forehead, his eyebrows became, multiple eyebrows became knit. I don't know if I was wondering which face did he come from, Chaturmukhi. Anyway, but they refused, and at that time Brahma was angry. In that angry mood, Rudra, or Lord Shiva, was born. Thus, they were intimately related. In other words, they are brothers, Shiva and the Kumaras. Kuvera, the treasure of the demigods, is fabulously rich. Thus, Lord Shiva's association with the Kumaras and Kuvera indicates that he has all transcendental and material opulences. After all, Lord Shiva is the husband of Durga, Amba, Parvati, the source or manager or the controller of all the material energy. Just as you have Lakshmi Narayan, goddess of fortune, you have Shiva and Durga for the material nature. So who can imagine his potencies? Actually, he is the qualitative incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his position is very exalted. Om Agena Tamarandasya Gena Gena Salakaya Jakshushu Militan Gena Tazare Shi Gurave Namaha. Of course, this is coming. This is the wind-up, the purport, the what would you call it? You would call the message or the lesson from the Daksha anger fest. When one loses control of one's temper, it does not end well, as we see from the cursing and counter-cursing and eyes gouged out, heads cut off. It was a tumultuous scene. So I have a question for you, other than Dravida Prabhu, who knows the answer. It seems unusual that Lord Shiva, although he's the husband of Durga, and it describes here the control of all material opulences, but he's sitting under a tree. Given it's not an ordinary tree in an ordinary setting, but generally speaking, we find Lord Shiva in a very austere condition, although he's the husband of the goddess of fortune. We find that he's worshipping Krishna, who's full of opulence, and yet he's very apparently without material facility or without material opulence. Why is that? Janardhan, why is that? Do we know? I'm going to tell a story that Prabhupada tells about Lord Shiva, and then you can answer from that, you can answer the question. Okay? Spotlight's on you. Lord Shiva and Parvati were traveling incognito, as saintly persons are oft to do. And they stopped at the house of a very wealthy man. And the wealthy man said, "Oh, beggars coming to my door, I'll give you something, I'll give you some ashes," off this balcony. So, as we know, Parvati is a little fiery. As we with Marshitaketu, she's a little fiery. So she turned to her noble husband and said, and not on her behalf, but on her disregard for her husband, she became disturbed. So she said, "You should curse him." So Lord Shiva said, "Yes, your point is well taken. May you have 10 intelligent sons. May all of your cows give unlimited milk. May your fields be fertile all year round." So Parvati was surprised that this is a curse. But knowing her transcendental and sublime and all-knowing husband, she didn't say anything. They stopped at another house, and it was a poor Brahmin. But Prabhupada says if you don't have anything, you can at least offer a sitting place and and it should be a nice, you can at least offer a grass mat and some cool water. That you can do if you can't offer opulent prasadam and arti and so on. And Prabhupada said, if you can't do that, if you can't even offer a sitting place and a little cold water, what should you do? Fold your hands and cry. Prabhupada says, And anyone will appreciate that. If you can't, and as Drivid is right, you can offer some sweet words, then fold your hands and cry, and any gentleman or gentle lady will be satisfied with that. That you've done the best you could in a difficult condition. So this, he offered some sitting place, some fresh fruit, some sweet words, some flowers, little garland. So, but because the mood was so sincere that Parvati said, you should bless this man, please bless him. So Lord Shiva said, you're right. May your sons die immediately. May all your cows be barren. May your crops dry up in the field from drought. So what is the purport? Why was this a Janardhan? Why was the apparent... Why was the curse an apparent material blessing? And why was the blessing havoc? Why? How was this Lord Shiva's kindness? Oh, wait. Okay, but yes. In difficulty you pray to Krishna. And when material opulence you become fat and lazy, and it is all by my arrangement. But the thing is, if I make you comfortable in a house that's on fire, if I get you a thermopillow and a Bose headset and what aromatherapy, I get the lady next to me has some machine that puts out fragrant mist. Yeah, she was telling me all about it. Although she's completely in anxiety, anyways, I don't want to get into it. They're nice. That side is nice. The other one are louts, layabouts, losers. So if I make you comfortable in the material world, if I give you what is like arranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, there was and the band played on as the Titanic was. What are they playing? Happy Days Are Here Again? I don't know what they were playing, but is that a benediction if I make you comfortable in a perilous situation? If I lull, the land of the lotus eaters? If I lull you into a state of somnolent torpitude, have I actually helped you? What do you think, Janardhan? And if you've become comfortable in this world and I light a fire under you, say, get out. Is that a blessing? Yeah. So Lord Shiva is unlimitedly merciful because he knows the actual state of things. To make one comfortable in this material world is not a blessing. It is a curse. So, therefore we find him sitting in a very renounced, detached place. Prabhupada tells the story. Who was the sage? Loma Harshi? Was it something? Loma something? The one who was covered with hair? Huh? Loma Rishi. Now this sage was covered with hair. And he was given the benediction that he would live until all the hairs fell off his body. And one hair fell every day of Brahma or some incredible. And he was sitting by the bank of the Ganges or some holy river, meditating on Krishna's lotus feet. So you can imagine how long his lifespan was. And some sage friend said, you should build yourself some kutir. You're out here exposed to all the elements. Anyone know what his response was? I'm just here for a little while. Why make a big arrangement? So this is the actual understanding of what our situation is. Lord Shiva, he's described as being a very grave. And I looked up grave just to see what the dictionary said. It said serious, sober, undisturbed. Who was it? Who was our Sankaracharya? Took sannyas at how old was he when he took sannyas? 12, I think 12 is a year, but something like that, sufficient to say.
And one of the first things he said as he was wandering about is, why is anyone laughing in this world? We find moments of merriment and mirth, but his point was that, like, I always like, there's a picture of a tarot card, and it's the picture of the fool. And the fool is dancing. He's a very handsome man, and he's dancing. But where is he dancing? He's right at the end of a precipice, at the end of a cliff, and it's crumbling. It's just about to go out from under him. And he's dancing. Very happy. His dog is, I think that he's the dog warning him. The dog is smarter than him. So I thought the dog was dancing along with him. But so one should be sober in this world. It is a very, and undisturbed. Ravindra Sarup told me that he said to Prabhupada, oh, the devotees are very excited. Prabhupada said, a devotee does not get excited. You know, agitated, that his senses are inflamed or incited. No, devotees don't become excited. Devotees are, we become enlivened, that's another thing. But, you know, as far as, you know, agitated and excited, and no, that's not a devotee. Devotees are sober and grave because they're thinking. Just like the ocean. The ocean, what is the ocean on the surface? What do you see on the ocean? Ah, so many waves tossing and turning. But if you go down deep, and our submariner, Vaishnav Das, has confirmed this. He was a submariner. He was in the Navy. If you go down deep, it's very peaceful, very steady. So those who are moored in deep consciousness, they're not agitated and tossed and turned and disturbed about the latest whatever's the tempest in a teacup. You know, who's moved my cheese? And they're all disturbed, you know, what's happened in there. No, devotee is fixed and sober. It's a sign of a devotee's depth. What is the difference between a, you can raise your hands, because I don't want to put anybody on the spot, a Goswami and a Godasa. Go means, Janardhanji, huh? And the senses. And Goswami, Swami means master, controller. Godasa means servant of. And if one's a servant of one's senses, because the senses, Krishna gives a very nice example in Bhagavad Gita, that what is always happening to the ocean, what is always, this is such a softball underhand pitch, what is entering into the ocean all the time? Very good. So many rivers. Have you ever, just for fun, oh, hello there, Badrinarayan, just for fun or for illumination, to bring the example to life, do a Google search under images and look for mouth or delta of the Ganga or the Mississippi or the Nile or the Congo or the Amazon. From satellite photography, you can see, you know, thousands of miles into space, you can see the mouth of these rivers, like especially the Amazon. I noticed that it's going into the blue Atlantic, but it's all the water is brown coming out of the, and you can see how it's for hundreds of miles, I don't know what it is, but quite some distance, where the it's billions of gallons of water pouring into the ocean from, and just off the Congo, Amazon, Nile, Ganga, Yangtze, what, Nile, what have I forgotten? Mississippi. I mean, these are major rivers. So I've got 7. I think there's 9, but major, whatever. But so each pouring billions of tons. If I pour even just one whole bucket full of water into this fountain, what happens? It overfloods. As it was Dravidas, they left the bathtub, the plumber left the water on. His whole apartment became flooded. So many billions of tons of water pouring, it's actually quite mystical when you think of it, pouring into the ocean. Do we feel it if you're doing a japa walk on the ocean? Do you just, does it come flooding over you? Doesn't, what do they call it? It's a tidal basin. I forget what it's called, but there's a name for where the mean tide range, it doesn't overflood. We count on it. We got up this morning. We're close to the ocean. We're in the, what is it, the Coastal Commission? So we're in the coastal, whatever it is, and we count on it. We don't come with flippers and snorkels to Mangalartik because one day everything's overflooded. So the point is that what is the example? What is the point? We're talking about grave, sober. What is the point Krishna's making? Does it mean that I've surrendered to Krishna? Therefore, everything should go smoothly. No more agitation because I've surrendered to Krishna. The material nature has backed off and said, no problem for you. What does the example of the rivers entering into the ocean mean? Yes. There's going to be havoc. Yeah, you're right. That you can count on it. The measure is, as we've said, we had the parrot Shukadev. You know Pavamana's gray African parrot Shukadev, who chants Hare Krishna, who can chant. Maybe Sukha's passed, I don't know. Well, gray Africans live a long time. It could chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So it was here one time for, I think, John Mastami or something, a petting garden. We had the calf, we had the, for kids, we had our baby cow, we had Shukadev. So Shukadev was coming out with all kinds of prayers. Very nicely. A dog came. Bark, 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 bark. It didn't take shelter. It didn't fold its little wings and say, Om Namo Bhagavate, Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate. Bark, 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 bark. So the measure is, there is going to be agitation in this world. Guaranteed. So many things happen. So the question, the measure of our depth of our realization is, will we actually remember Krishna and be undisturbed? I wanted to read, there's so many things to say, but here's a nice purport by Prabhu. It's coming up, but well, we're going to go a few minutes over. From the purport coming up. Here is the Vaishnava vision that allows one to conquer anger. There's going to be difficulty. There's going to be frustration. It's just a factor of this world. And it's actually purifying. It serves its purpose. So it says here, purport, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes angry or kills a demon, materially this may appear to be unfavorable. But spiritually, it is a blessing upon him. So Prabhupada's, in previous purports, Prabhupada's made the point that whether Krishna is angry or whether Krishna gives blessings, Prabhupada said Krishna can take with his 100 hands, he can give with his 100 hands. Both are blessings. So when Krishna appears to become angry, or maybe, was it crush me in your embrace, make me brokenhearted by not being present before me? So what is the meaning? It's a blessing. It's seen as a devotee understands that it's a blessing. Therefore, back to Prabhupada's purport, therefore pure devotees do not make any distinction between the Lord's anger and his blessings. A devotee does not find fault with the behavior of the Lord in any circumstances. I found that to be a profound sentence. A devotee does not find fault with the behavior of the Lord in any circumstance. Krishna may put us in difficulty. We don't find fault. I mean, I had a day yesterday, not yesterday, day before yesterday, that practically everything was kitty wampus. Do they still say kitty? You know kitty wampus? Kitty, you never heard kitty? Anyone heard the word kitty wampus? Akimbo. You've heard the word akimbo. So akimbo, a kitty wampus, a skew. swimming against the stream. I mean, I banged my knee, I slammed my dhoti in the car door, I dropped my prasadam. I had some nice prasad quesadillas, I dropped it in the gutter. I played my answer machine, and it was all bad news. It was just like one thing out. I was knocked from pillar to post. The entire day was like that. And, by about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was not feeling like this. A devotee does not find fault with the behavior of the Lord in any circumstance. I think, Krishna, give me a break. Why are you doing this? I'm trying to serve you, and, everything's going kittywampus. Upside down, backwards. But why? Because why? What does Krishna want to? What is success or blessings in this world? Is to get out. Anyway, you've got the picture. So Krishna's mercy. A surgeon knows. Like, I had surgery on my elbow. I had a gift there from diabetes. And the surgeon was telling me, well, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and we're going to do this procedure, and after that procedure, we're going to do... I said, look, man, I don't really care. I said, I don't know. Just knock me out, wake me up when it's over. I mean, you don't need to tell me what I'm going to give you. No, don't do this procedure. I mean, he's a nice guy. We were joking. I said, look, I'm going to advise you. No, don't do that, do this. I said, I don't know. What do I know about any of this? I said, you just do your job. Wake me up when it's over. I'll be fine, So what do we know about, if we're so smart, I'm speaking to myself actually here, if I'm so smart, what am I doing here in the material body, in the material, material world? If I'm such a genius, then what am I doing here in this collapsible contraption, covered by the modes of material nature, and being kicked at every moment? If I'm such a genius. So, Krishna, you just do your job. I'll just, try to remember your lotus feet, try to serve you, and you do your job. I'm getting these emails, oh, it's so sad that Gunagraj Maharaj has left. On one hand, it's true. We miss his association. He was one of the few people that would laugh at my jokes, and I would laugh at his. I mean, we had our moments of disagreement, but in general, we were good friends. We'd been through a lot, And invariably, when we would get together, we would both start laughing. Just laughing at life and the world and what's going on, So I'm going to miss that association. I was hoping he would hang on till I would go to Vrindavan and I'd get to see him, So sure, Prabhupada said we're not dull stones. We feel the value of someone's a good friend leaves this world. We miss them. But we're so sorry for Gunagraj Maharaj. Why? He's gone back to Godhead. If he hasn't gone back to Godhead, as Bibi Govinda Maharaj said, he's probably taken his conga drum with him. He'll be the only, the only conga drum in Vaikuntha or Krishna Loka. Gunagraj Maharaj will be playing it, So, what was I going to say? So, he's in great shape. Either that or he's taken birth in a nice devotee family. He's hearing, by the time 7 months old, he'll be hearing that they'll be reading srimadbhagavatam, and he'll be hearing Bhagavatam in the womb and come out enthusiastic to serve Krishna. So what's the problem? He'll be, if wherever Prabhupada is preaching, he may well have chosen to go where Prabhupada's preaching. So what's the sadness? And if he had to go with cancer, gold, sometimes they say gold is purified by fire. And sometimes I've seen if there's some impurity on it, they'll just put it in the fire, and the impurity will burn off, and the pure gold will be there. So Krishna gives us some difficulty. And it purifies the mind, whatever's remaining there, blocking us from pure Krishna consciousness, it's burnt off by some difficulty. And when it's burnt off and we're in pure Krishna consciousness, are we going to complain? We're going to say, oh, Krishna, give me some Maya back. I want a little more Maya back here, Or when one of my favorite pictures, and there's several versions of it, that Krishna is embracing a cowherd boy. I mean, who knows, may I be a blade of grass outside Goloka with the devotees stepping on my head, But, and getting their dust. But what was I going to say? So when we're being Prabhupada says it will be just like waking up from a dream. Well, all of a sudden we'll be conscious. We'll hear Krishna's flute. The cowherd boys will come over the hill, and we'll just join in, and off we go. Or whatever our particular rasa mood is. And are we going to be saying, "Hey, wait a minute, Krishna? I mean, 5 births back, you gave me that set of boils, and hey, wait a minute. Where's the complaint department? No. We went back to Godhead. So, this is devotee does not find fault with the behavior of the Lord in any circumstances. Why? Why don't we find fault with the Lord? Because we know that what He's doing is for our own good. Like the doctor, like the surgeon, just do your job. Prabhupada calls it, the rooting out factor for getting the anartas out of the heart. Like roto? And down go. I forget, what is their lingo? Their jingle? And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-rooter. So, it roots out the heart. It has the sharp blades, and it goes in there, and it gets out all the muck so the water can flow. So that all the impurities within the heart, so Krishna's mercy, pure remembrance of Krishna can happen. It has to cut out all that muck in the heart. And that's what's going on. So you don't complain. You don't say, "Oh, Krishna, no, wait a minute. Leave a little bit of that Maya. I only want 75% Krishna consciousness. Just leave that 25% in there." So, and we wanted to talk about the Rudra principle. But we are over time. So I'll just say this. So one way to conquer over anger comes from what? What is the Rudra principle? Janardanji, he just said, what is the Rudra principle described in Bhagavad Gita? Anyone know what the Rudra principle is? When Lord Brahma wanted the 4 Kumaras to fill up the universe with children, and they said, "No way," he became angry. So he had a desire. The desire was thwarted. Then what happens? What comes from that? From a desire thwarted, which, welcome to the material world. I mean, practically every desire is thwarted. Frustration, and from frustration comes anger. And of course, the whole sequence, from anger comes bewilderment, memory. What is it? Intelligence is lost, one falls in the material whirlpool. So this is the Rudra principle, that anger after frustration. But a devotee conquers over it because he knows, if my desires are being frustrated, why are they being frustrated? Because they're not good for me. The Christians have it backwards. They're thinking God's all powerful, Krishna's all powerful, and I have a desire. Well, ante up, God, come on through. ATM. Prabhupada says, what does he say, like an order supplier? Order supplier is like Amazon. You go online, you click, and it comes. So in the old days, they had like the Sears order catalog, or you get the catalog with it's the same principle, and you go through and you see what you want, and you make your order, and it supplies. Order supplier. Make the order, and they deliver. So this is God give us this day our daily bread. I want bread, so you better deliver, God. And when God doesn't deliver, we become angry. But the Vaishnavas know that if God doesn't deliver, it must be good for me. If God is all good and all powerful, and I'm not getting what I want, what does that mean? And I'm not getting it because it's not good for me. Okay. So we're almost done. So Prabhupada said that a devotee knows that if he's not getting what he wants, it's Krishna's mercy for a reason, and therefore he's peaceful. I wanted something foolish, and Krishna's not giving it to me. Very good. Or it's for maybe it was something but it's for my spiritual benefit. Prabhupada wanted to have a second wife because his first wife was not very compatible with devotional service. She's the one she actually traded Prabhupada's Bhagavatam for tea biscuits. That's when Prabhupada said, I'm done. I'm out of here. He was trying to make his family devotees. So, where were we? So, and Prabhupada's father told him, no, it's good that you're not so happy in household life. Krishna's arrangement, you can't, so just, it's a good thing. It's good for your spiritual advancement. And Prabhupada took that. Prabhupada thought, yes, Krishna's made this arrangement for my spiritual advancement. So if things aren't going according to our plan, we're trying sincerely, we're not getting good, it's Krishna's mercy. It's meant for my spiritual advancement. I was desiring something that wasn't good for me, or if I'm put in difficulty, it'll be good for my spiritual advancement. So a devotee doesn't find fault with Krishna in any circumstances. And there's another way that a devotee learns to talk, as far as interpersonal dealings. What is Bhishma Dev's instruction for how we conquer anger? Because people, we get frustrated with people. I get frustrated. Why don't you do what I want? I'm the supreme controller. I'm the center of all things. You're meant to make me happy, and you're not doing it. Well, get with the program. So, or someone may act, and people do things that are cold and callous and cause us pain. How do we conquer over that anger? Suppose it's justified anger. They've actually committed a genuine affront. How, according to Bhishma Dev, does one learn to overcome that anger? Like you're wondering, why does this guy keep talking? I want to take prasad. Anger after frustration. I'm almost done. How do you learn to overcome? Chant Hare Krishna. Okay. Bhishma Dev says in his instruction, it's in the Bhagavatam. One learns to forgive. If one learns, let me ask you a question. Have we ever asked others for forgiveness? Have we ever, in the heat of the moment, done something to other people? Said something sharp? I mean, hey, I'm Exhibit A. Said something sharp, said something brusque. And then, what have we said? Oh, I'm sorry. And we expect them to forgive us. If we're sorry, we expect them to forgive us, isn't it? Yeah, we expect it. At least with a fool like me, expectation of forgiveness is an operating principle of my life. Because I make so many mistakes and affronts. So how can we ask for what we are not, fill in the rest of the sentence. How can we ask for what we're not willing to give? We ask for forgiveness. We expect for forgiveness. We expect people to understand, well, we're basically a good person and we've got some faults, Okay, forgive me, tolerate. We expect it. Are we willing to give it? So when Bhishma Dev says, we conquer over anger by learning to forgive. It's a conditioned soul, made some mistake. All right, I forgive. That's the key for conquering anger. The other key, which is the last thing I'm going to say, is there's a verse. Dravida, you cannot say what it is. Because I know you know. Wait, he knows it even before I ask the question. He's about to say it. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that every Vaishnava must wear this verse as a garland around his neck. If you want to enter into the house of bhakti, this is the key we have to have. It is a precursor, essential precursor to even being able to chant the holy name. What is that verse? Trinadapi sunichena. And it is tolerant. It is the key for conquering anger. If we just become tolerant, it is the ethos of a Vaishnava. So we can in there a little description of the Rudra principle. And now I'm done. So your frustration is blocked. I'm also hungry. We can all take prasad. Hare Krishna. Thank you. We'll read next time about the